Today's video is sponsored by HIPA. Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Impossible Mowers, and in today's video we have mowing season coming up and we're going to be dolling up the pool lawn and getting it ready for that. HIPA also sent us some parts in which we'll show you how to install, and also you guys may not be aware the pool lawn did take a pretty good hit. There's just nothing else to say. I accidentally pulled a little too far forward, hit the back of the Blue Craftsman, and a chunk of the grill came off. But this grill has been cracked since I've owned it, and it's just been slowly cracking over time. And I think what really did it was the plow. I think there was a point in time where the plow kicked up and hit the grill, but not to worries, because I'm going to be taking the Blue Flame Craftsman grill and spray painting it nice black and slapping it on the pool lawn. You guys might be wondering, why am I doing that? Well, here's the reason why. First of all, this is a metal grill, so it's going to be a lot more easier to be durable with, and just we can do much more with this kind of style. Secondly, because I am going to be hitting up a junkyard soon and getting another one for the Blue Flame Craftsman, so it's not that big of a deal for me. And you know, the pool lawn does have to come first. It's our mower, it's our big time mud mower. I mean, this is kind of a big part of the channel, and the Blue Flame Craftsman still has a lot of work to go through before it can hold up to the expectations of the pool lawn, such as tires, battery, ignition system. I mean, there's a lot we have to do with that mower. Not that we're not going to do it, but for now I'm just going to be taking the grill off of it, and in a few weeks I'm hoping to hit up a junkyard and just get another one for it. It's really not that big of a deal. But the metal grill is going to be nice for this unit, because I would like to get a ram bar for it before the season's over, and it's just a little bit more added protection. But they're the same thing. This is plastic, this is metal, and of course two different styles. I do like this style a little more because I feel like we can do a little more with this grill in the way that we can put lights in it, maybe some Raptor lights or something, some LEDs. That's what we're going to be doing. And like I said before, guys, HIPA did send us some parts, and while we spray paint this and let it dry, we'll be installing those parts and showing you guys how to do it. However, you guys also might be wondering, why am I not doing this in the shop? And let me tell you something, guys. It's been sitting in the mower collection for such a long time. I'm not joking you. I walked by last week thinking what video I should make this week, because I couldn't make one the other week. I was thinking to myself, that John Deere, I have everything for it. Why am I not doing anything with it? It's just sitting, collecting dust, literally. So it's in here. We are literally going through this whole motor. We're going through everything. It'll all be on YouTube, so don't worry about it. And I just gotta say, you guys are in for a treat. What I've done so far is got the motor to run and idle perfectly. There's a little bit more carb adjustments to do. We put a new, you guys know we put a new ignition system last year, solenoid, all that good stuff. And I'm hoping I can do a video this week, if not next week, of us driving it out of the shop. It's about time. It's been sitting for 3 years since I've owned it, and you know, I finally said it's about time. So stay tuned for the 140. We got big stuff planned for this. And then of course the Husqvarna's tires should be coming in soon, so we got those coming in. There's a lot happening here, guys, so if you see me only posting once a week, it's because I'm trying to plan out each video carefully. I don't want to throw all the videos out in 1 week and then I'm left with nothing for you guys for the next 2 weeks. So just want to plan it out carefully and create some good content. So with all that talking done, let's see what we can't do with the pool lawn. Alrighty, so the first order of business. You can see this grill it just did some damage. It's just broken, cracked. These plastic grills, I mean, they're plastic, nothing much to say. But the hood itself is actually okay. I did spot a crack right here. 2 cracks, actually. See one there, one there. But it's really not that big of a deal. I don't know if these came like that or if it happened when I cracked the grill. However, it should be fairly usable. I don't know if I have to reuse this piece right here from the Blue Flame Craftsman. I don't think so. But what I've already done off camera is I just snipped off the electrical wiring here, and we'll just, you know, zip tie that back on. But we also have, I should get it actually, have it around, some nice matte black Rust-Oleum. This is pretty good stuff. We put this on Chuck and it's still holding up. It's primer and paint all in one, and we do roughly 3 to 4 coats on you know, each part we put it on, whether it's a body, hood. We'll do 3 or 4 coats, and if we have more, definitely do more. And I might try to touch up the rims too, because the paint is slowly starting to chip off of the Poulon on the rims, so make it look good for the mowing season. Gotta take care of the old unit. And those are HIPA's parts, which we'll get to that after we do the grill. So a lot going on, a lot going on. So if you guys have never done one of these before, really simple. Ooh, actually, you know what I just noticed? Is that supposed to be like that? Yeah, okay. I did notice this right here. I thought this was all a crack, but it's just the natural curvature of the hood. Okay, if you guys have never done one of these before, pretty simple. You need a 1/4-inch wrench, or socket, whatever you want, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts. So you just take those bolts off and the grill should pop right off. However, you want to make sure, I just saw I missed a zip tie. I want to make sure it's unplugged here, because you do not want this to get ripped off. And I see an issue there. See that? Interesting. This is why we do this. Oh, the other thing we're going to be doing today, guys, seeing the oil up here, we did blow a overhead valve cover gasket, but we got that. Came in yesterday, so I'm going to be installing that. This is pretty much just an odds and ends video, just kind of dolling up the Poulon, getting it ready, and just kind of taking care of it. Okay. So I'm gonna unbolt these bolts and I'll get right back with you guys. Alrighty guys, we got the grill off. This grill seems to be a 2-piece, which is what I figured. That one's a 1-piece, which is simple. But this is a 2-piece, so I'm gonna keep this headlight bezel, because what could possibly happen is I could find a grill for this and then end up swapping this back on the Blue Flame Craftsman. But you know, once you paint it, you know, it's kind of tough. It's kind of sucks to waste all that kind of time and money and have to do it again. But I will keep this just in case, because if I do find another grill for this unit, I'll just keep it in the back rack. But this is just toast. Look at that. Even the bolting points are just ripped off. It's a shame. Overall, the actual hood itself isn't bad. I don't see anything else that could really need repair. I mean, there's a few things I gotta get bent back. You see this piece just got bent too far forward by a small bit. And maybe this piece right here could be stuck out a little bit, but nothing much, really. It's actually all still there. Still got some odds and ends to take off here though. But let's just do a quick little test fit. Oh yeah, that should go right in. Perfect. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to just clean this up, take off some of the stuff I missed, and then we are going to sand the grill and paint it. So we'll be right back. Alrighty guys, not gonna lie, got a bit carried away. I was gonna show you the sanding process there, and then after sanding it I just couldn't help myself. But nice black spray paint, still wet. Still gotta get it dried, but wow, you see all the mess we made. Whew, gonna have to vacuum that all up. But as we are waiting for that to dry, here's what we're working with here. We got New fuel filters. Very nice. Air filter. Very nice. Let's see. There should be a second box of filters here. Oh no, this is the diode. That's right. The diode. I forgot to tell you guys. Maybe I did already tell you. We got the mower to charge again. It was because of the diode. I'm still going to upgrade the battery to an Elko and maybe take that battery that's in it and slap it in the Blue Flame Craftsman. Maybe. Not sure. But the battery's still good. But the diode was bad, so I replaced it with a used one. But I should really be just getting a new one. And HIPA was awesome enough to send us out a brand new one because they're cool. By the way, links to all of this stuff down below, guys. There will be a link for a code, hopefully in the future, but we're just trying to work that out right now, and it's a bit tough just trying to battle that with just everything else we're already doing. So that will come soon, but for now, links will be in the description if you're ever interested in most of the stuff. If not all of it is only for the Briggs Intech V-Twin. If you're looking for another motor, this is not your video for the links. Some of the stuff could work. Obviously, the fuel filter, you can put that on any kind of motor. But just letting you guys know, these are parts specific. Let's see, we got brand new solenoid because the pull-on solenoid is still giving me trouble. I thought for a second, you know what, maybe it's the grounds, maybe the positive negative is not tightened, maybe the ignition's bad. Tested all that. The solenoid still every now and then just doesn't want to work. It just stops working, stops doing the solenoid bit. So HIPA was also cool enough to send us out one of those. And of course, more fuel filters. I think you guys can see that there. We got our hands full here. We're just going to be doing, like I said, general stuff here with the pool on, just kind of giving it a facelift because it's needed it. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to bring these parts outside, and pretty soon here we're going to show you guys how to replace them, so stay tuned. Alrighty guys, we got our air filter here. Start with the easiest thing first. We're just going to unbolt these bolts here. I only have 2, but there's usually 4. And there we go, there's our filter. Looking pretty used. This motor is running pretty rich. Slap those off to the side. Install HIPA's brand new kit here. Here we go. So it's a 2-piece filter, obviously, you guys can see that. First filter goes in. Make sure it's in all the way. Make sure these rubber grommets right here actually go in. Not grommets, this gasket-like stuff. And then you put your green one on. And then that's pretty much it. Put the cover back on. And screw it back in. It's, I want to argue, it's the simplest thing on the mower. I'm sure there might be something that's similar that's just as simple. Very good. Air filter installed. I think I have the other 2 bolts kicking in the shop somewhere, so I might install those later. All right, so we have air filter done. Look at that already. Fuel filter, another easy thing. Start with the easiest stuff first, because that really doesn't take that long. Clip one clamp back, clip the second clamp back, and we're just gonna pull, do like a twist and pull kind of motion here. And we got our bucket right here to capture all of the fuel. And the same thing. 2 hands, twist it. There we go. And this filter's been on here for quite a long time. It did a great job though. It's got a lot of stuff in the filter. But it's been on there since probably November. It needed a decent filter. I mean, you guys also got to remember, we use this mower almost every single day. So, you know, if you don't see it on a YouTube video, it doesn't mean that we're not using it. We're always using it for around the property, trailering stuff, doing a little landscaping here and there, plowing in the winter, salting in the winter. This doesn't do a lot of salting, but it does a lot of plowing, and it's an all-season dual rig. So for me to be replacing all this stuff as frequently as I am, it's not because I'm trying to be, you know, Mr. Perfect over here. It's genuinely just because the machine's getting used. Parts need to get replaced a lot sooner. It's just as simple as that. Whenever you're installing these filters, you always want to make sure you're putting them in the right way. Every filter from this kind of style to this kind of style, any kind of filter is it should show a arrow. And that arrow indicates the flow of the fuel. So from the tank to the carburetor. And you can see here on this filter, the arrow is facing this way, which means we're going to install it like this. And what that means is the fuel is going to come in, surround the filter, and then it's going to go through the filter, come out from the inside of the filter on through the carburetor, and there is your filtration system. Slap that puppy in. Hopefully you guys can see this. I don't want to install nothing if you can't see it. Very good. One part, two part, done. And all you do is just take your clamp, move it to the part. I always like to stick my pliers in there and spread it just to make sure it's really tight. Do a little test check. Yeah, they're all there pretty solid. And there you go, filter changed. This is quite a big filter, but I'm gonna try to run it and see what happens. If not, the John Deere uses these filters, Krusty uses these filters, the Ford uses these filters, the Blue Flame Craftsman uses these filters, so it's definitely not a waste, but I think this will work just fine, just as long as everything's on tight. If I see a fuel leak, I'm gonna know that this filter is too big and the ports that slide into the fuel line are too small, and I'm gonna have to change it to a different size. That's just the way it is. But like I said before, you know, we have other mowers that use this exact diameter, but I just wanted to try it out and just kind of see how it would work on this mower. All right, so we have fuel filter installed, air filter installed. I say we tackle the difficult part, because the diode is not as difficult as the solenoid. So the solenoid, let's bring that out. Here it is. Right there. Standard 12 volt, nothing special, except for the fact that it's HIPA's. And we have 11mm socket. There's a bolt right here, and then there is a kind of a clip right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. So when we unbolt the solenoid, we're gonna smack it like this, sideways, and then pull out. But before we do anything affiliated with that, we're gonna wanna take off the positive and positive terminals from the starter to the battery using the same size, 11mm. You just wanna be sure that you are not going to hit the other positives together and create that bridge. Otherwise the motor will turn over, and we don't wanna do that. So I don't know how else I could show you guys. See if I can get you inside here. Pardon me if it's sideways. Okay, you see it right there. That's what we're working with. Hopefully you guys saw that. There should be two plugs indicating these two right here, and the positive and negative. So we're gonna find those plugs. I believe we can get this on camera. Right here. There we go. First plug, second plug. White one, black one. The colors will vary on your mower. I've seen ones where it's white and green. Well, you know what I'll just do, guys? I'll just show you through here. This is the hook. That's right there. This is the bolt. That's right there. It's mounted just like this. So what I'm gonna do is unbolt it, pry it up, pull out. That's simple. And then this is where your starter goes. This is where your battery goes. And because it's mounted like this, it's gonna go starter, battery, black wire, yellow wire, black wire, yellow wire. I flipped them before and they haven't done anything on this rig, but your rig might vary and it might be specific. So you always wanna make sure you're putting them in the right way. You will notice it if it's not correct. Yeah. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to do this off camera, just at least removing it. And I'm gonna try to find a way where I could show you guys while installing it, because like I said, I don't wanna give you guys bad footage, but at the same time, I wanna keep it informational. So we'll be right back. Alrighty guys, we have the old solenoid out. Look at that, I do believe this is the original. So she's beaten up pretty good. And here is the new one. Let's just look at that difference, huh? Check that out. So to show you guys how to install this, we're actually going to take the GoPro and flip it around. And look at that. There you go. So the first thing we're going to want to do with our solenoid is take our fork and find its home. So I do believe the fork was up. But you see that right there? Let me see if I can't get you guys just a little higher. My goodness, this is shoddy editing. There we go. But you see what I'm talking about right there? So yeah, it's getting swung around, and you can see right there is the alignment hole. But that's all that metal thing is doing up there. It's just swinging it around. So we have our starter wire. Undo the bolt here. Starter wire, and that one we're going to screw that in. You guys can see that right there. Bam. I'm just going to bolt that puppy right in. So I may have actually been wrong. The black may have been on the top because the white is shorter. I may have just been wrong about that. So let's plug them in. That feels better. Okay. Black on top, white on bottom. Maybe that is what I said. I can't remember. Anyways, and then we're just gonna bolt that puppy in. And there you go. Solenoid is installed. The last two things we gotta do is take our positive plug here, and we're just gonna plug them together, like so, and then we're just gonna tighten these bolts up and call it a day. So now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to turn the camera off, and we're going to get ready to replace the diode, and then we'll move on to the overhead valve cover gaskets. So stay tuned. Alrighty, guys, sorry if that solenoid installation was a little shoddy. I am working with tight spaces here, and I don't have the shop available to me right now. But we do what we try to do here. We try to keep things moving on and informational. Alright, so we have our brand new diode right here. Same thing. This one is off of different Briggs. It's actually off of a Vanguard twin. You just want to make sure when you unplug these, you check for any dirt or any kind of corrosion. We've already replaced the alternator from HIPA, so I know that there's nothing bad in here, but it's good practice to do because that could help prevent your battery system from charging, and you don't want to have that. So we're just going to start by unplugging the red wire here. And the yellow wire. That is your alternator wire. So this is responsible for charging your battery and making your mower genuinely a mower, because the alternator doesn't just go straight to the battery. A lot of people get that confused. The alternator's energy goes into the or the stator, they'll call them, goes into this, the diode, and this then takes that energy and displaces it to the coils, the battery, the ignition system, your lights, and it keeps that flow going. So if this stops working, you're not charging anything. All you're doing is providing power to your coils. That's it. And that's what we had an issue with the Poulon with, is the motor ran fine, ran great. Alternator was working, coils were doing their thing, but nothing was going to the battery. And so that is what happens. So if you have a stator issue, or you have some sort of electrical issue where your battery's not charging your alternator, but just as much as your diode could be at fault. So just a little tip there. Keep an eye out for. That was not on very tight. Okay, I will have to make sure we tighten that. And there's only one bolt. That is interesting. That must have vibrated off. Well, there's the old one. I'm still going to keep it around for an emergency case. But here's HIPA's brand new one. And you can see it's got the plugs on it. got the alternator plug and that bright red plug there. So we're just going to install it. You can install it this way or this way. This way makes more sense, obviously, since the red wire is the shortest wire and needs the most length given to plug into the red wire there. So we're going to install this puppy. Just as simple as bolting it in. I'm going to make sure this is really tight. Alright. Now I'm going to find another bolt for that because I want two on here. And then you just plug in your alternator wires. They call them stators, but I call them alternators because they do the same thing as an alternator. And then red wire there, nice clip, and there you go. If you wanted to, it's your prerogative, your choice. You could zip tie these in a little bit neater fashion. I'm not very picky, and I really don't care, because this is just not that big of a deal. It's not in the way of anything. So I'm just gonna leave it right there, but it's up to you guys what you want to do. But that's it. That is literally how you do a stator. So what I'm gonna do right now, guys, is we're gonna clean up a little bit around here and we're gonna get ready to do the overhead valve cover gasket. So these overhead valve cover gaskets are not from HIPA, they're from this company. Never heard of them, but I'm sure they'll work just fine. So we got a 10mm socket and we have an oil pan underneath this because this will leak oil. Not a lot, but just a little, so don't let that surprise you. Alrighty guys, should just be 4 bolts. Might get a little oil on the exhaust manifold. That's alright. I've never actually, since I've owned this thing, I've never done valve cover gaskets, so it makes sense to me that they're going bad. I think I was trying to make a trail riding video one time that ended up not getting posted. And large amount of oil seeped out. Pretty clean in there. But if I had to guess, I'd say this gasket blew near the, right there. Oh yeah. See right in there? It's all cracked. That'll do it. Yeah, I'll just peel that off. You have to get a gasket scraper. Get one, make sure that there's no, like right there. See how there's leftovers? I'll scrape that up. Alrighty guys, I'm going to shut the camera off and clean this puppy up, so we'll be right back. Alrighty guys, we got the valve cover cleaned on both sides as much as I can get it. Nice and clean, no residue. And it's always a good idea to just grab some Scott's rags or something and just hit up these edges right here. Just as a little something something. Alrighty, so we're gonna pull out one of our new gaskets here. Bam, right there. Line it up. Take a bolt, slap it through at least 2 of them diagonally so the gasket doesn't separate and move. Make sure you're not putting it upside down because you need that vacuum hose at the top. And carefully just install it in, bring it in. Now the vacuum hose is only on one side because the fuel pump needs a vacuum to suck up all the fuel into the carburetor. So another thing you can do when you're doing this kind of a job is check your vacuum hose for any dry rot, any kind of leaks, because that will affect how your motor runs. If you have a bad vacuum hose, your motor's going to run sluggish or not at all, because there's no vacuum for the fuel pump, so the fuel's not going in, or at least not as much as there should be going in to the engine bay. So you want to snug them up. You don't want to just tighten all of them out once. You kind of want to do it like a head gasket on anything, star pattern, and do quarter small turns. So we're going to do 1, 2, come up here diagonally. That one's not snug yet. There we go. 1, 2, come to the bottom. Just kind of go around and around in that kind of a star-like pattern, because you don't want to warp that gasket and tear it. but you also don't want to force these bolts in. I mean, this, you know, it's an overhead valve cover gasket. It's not anything big, so you don't want it to be terribly tight, but you do want it on there. I'm just gonna snug them up as much as I can here. That's about comfortable in my books. And then slap the vacuum hose back in. Perfect. So the vacuum hose is now installed. And that's it, guys. I'm gonna do the other side, and then the next time you see this camera on, we're gonna be fitting on the grill. So stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, and that is it. Look at that. Woo! Now that looks sweet. And I think it's actually gonna help us way more with moving air throughout the whole system, so that when we're mowing, the motor doesn't get so hot. But without further ado, guys, I know I said I was gonna show you me installing the grill, but yeah, it's such a thing to do on camera, even with the good materials and stands and stuff. What I need is an extra cameraman. But anyways, with all that said and done, wow, it's looking good, guys. We got all those parts installed, we got all that stuff done, and the mower looks better than ever. I was gonna spray paint the rims and clean those up today, but sun's getting a little low, and I think that's as much as I can do in today's video before it becomes an hour long. But you know, we were able to get it done, and I love the result. I think I might try to go for an LED swap with these headlights. Let me know what you guys think. Am I insane, or do I have something going on here? I don't know. I'm thinking possibly something around that line. Either an actual big bulky LED, or swap out the bulbs for LED, something like that, or keep it stock. Tell me what you guys think below. And with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like I said before, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out HIPA. They are a big reason why we were able to make this video happen today, so please check them out. Links down below, and don't forget to check out the Instagram and Patreon for more Impossible Mowers content. And with all that said and done, I hope you guys stay safe. We'll catch you guys next time. This is Impossible Mowers out.